I mean, they can't even process the application for that. You know, right off the bat, what I see here, I'm going to say stuff that you might disagree with. I like this right off the bat, the entrance reducers. I leave mine like that all summer long. You know, that way it's on hand. If the flow shuts down, you just need to do that, and that colony can defend itself if it's weaker than the other ones. I have big booming colonies that have their entrances right just like that, you know, closed even, 4 inches. They have an upper entrance as well. But, don't hesitate to shuffle in here. Sure. That's more for winter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
They do. We'll
by
use that.
winter,
Yeah.
is it important to have 2 holes for 2 deeps?
Not. The importance is to have one in the upper D, or
The upper
this.
D.
This suffices.
Okay.
All you need is
1 is enough.
air to exit the colony to remove condensation.
But if I've got 2 deeps, 1 hole is enough.
On the upper, as long as it's
On
in the
the
upper
upper.
one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
What I usually do when I inspect the colony is I go right to the bottom because that's where most of the action is, especially in the newer. I see they're drawing comb up here, but we're going to go downstairs and take a look. Which one had that one? Which one had the queen?
This one just had a queen installed
Just had
a
a
week
queen
ago.
installed.
This
So
hive, Pete and I split the 3rd week in May. It was booming, and we made 2 splits, which are over there, and then a week later, it swarmed.
a lot
And
of
I
drones.
just put a new queen in it a week ago. One of Dave's
I'm
5.
going right to the center. I can feel those are honey. This is not much room for the queen to lay right in that area. There we go. So she got accepted. I can see eggs in there. I don't necessarily, when I'm looking for to see if a queen took or not, I'm not looking for the queen. I'm looking for eggs. And these plastic frames, I love them. The foundation. I've just gone to the white, but man, you can't see the eggs until the comb darkens up, especially if the sun is shining. But there's larvae. This is.
You wax the plastic frames?
I buy it waxed and find it's fine.
Yep.
What I wanted to show you in this frame here, all this pollen here. For some reason, we're seeing a lot of this shiny pollen in hives that have high mite loads. They pack it, and this is almost like a queenless condition. They'll do this if the hive is queenless too. And they don't take that out of the frame, out of the cells very well. And I've actually seen it where it's so much that the queen doesn't have any room to lay.
Right.
The beauty of this plastic foundation is if you have a lot of that in it, and like if you're going through your dead outs in the spring and they have a lot of this shiny pollen in it, you can take your hive tool and you can scrape it right down to the midway and put it back in a strong hive, and they'll draw that right back out again. And it's like, pre-waxed. And if you smell that, I mean, pass it around. To me, that doesn't smell bad, but sometimes it smells pretty bad. I don't know if it's because it's not been cured properly, or there's the queen right there. She's good queen. She's been
What's that?
established. She's right down towards the bottom of the frame.
Like a centerfold.
She's got a very good brood pattern. She's laying very nicely. I don't. Is the queen cage still in here then?
Yeah, it is.
Upstairs.
Should be in the bottom.
In the bottom?
You see here.
What kind of queen was it?
It's a Caucasian.
That's the, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that's quite some, that's some serious.
And the reason you picked a Caucasian was?
Well, it was what was available.
There's supposed to be,
Coming in.
there used to be more Caucasian. It's hard to find them these days. But they have a tendency, the true Caucasian has a tendency to purplize
That's what Dave
more
said.
extensively than other bees.
That's right.
This, I just noticed, this is a screen bottom. So if your hive has a screen bottom, you can definitely keep your entrance reduced all summer long. It doesn't need to, because they're getting plenty of ventilation. And then if that colony goes queenless and the population starts to go down and you have a big booming colony next to it and the honey flow shuts off, it can defend itself. If this colony starts to get robbed out by a neighbor, they'll kill the queen, they'll fight, they'll kill the bees. So I always,
About for coming and going though, David, it really gets jammed up there.
when they live in a tree, you know, they don't, you just watch them, you know, they manage quite well. I don't think it's going to cut your honey production down any, you know, if you're going to have an entrance that's half or, you know, 4 or 5 inches.
I just like to drag that queen cage out of here.
Oh, okay. So did you put that cage right on the bottom?
Oh, crap. Oh, I took it out. That's right. I've been really busy lately. Yeah, I took it out. I remember now.
Welcome to the, like,
Right
I'm
over
like
there.
that too. It was like, what the hell?
It's somewhere out here.
So we'll take a look upstairs. Looks like they're drawing foundation
What an
pretty
idiot.
well.
I remember.
What I like to do when I'm working my own hives is, you see, they won't draw this outside frame very well. They always work from the heat from the colony below. Look at that. So there's no brood in this frame at all. If there was brood, I wouldn't be doing this maneuver because you don't want to put brood on the outside wall or eggs. But they're going to draw that so much better. See, they're not going to draw that outer frame very well, even if it's a booming colony. So they've got a hum to them. So what I like to do, you don't just make sure there are no eggs, no brood, and you can just sort of. There's a medium frame.
Yeah, what? Oh,
There's 2.
yeah.
There's 3. Danger, danger.
Where's Pete?
What?
Why did we do that?
So I'm just going to put these off to
You
the
ran
side.
out of deep.
Oh, right.
So I told you they're
it's a
going to
brood
draw.
frame.
They're going to
Oh, yeah, the
draw.
drone
It's a
cone.
drone
They're going to draw a drone there.
It's
Right.
coming
The
back.
drone.
It's all coming back.
Yeah.
So I might not want to put that close to the center. I'd rather have a frame.
Okay.
Next year's bee school, I'm going to demand that people put D on the deep frames, M on the medium, and S on the shallow. So
Why's
you can-
that?
Every time you open it, you'll know that, uh-oh, I don't have all deeps here.
So they got a hum to them. I don't know
Yes,
why.
they do.
But it might be because they have a new queen. Didn't see any evidence of any kind of viral symptoms or
Yeah,
that sort of
we
thing.
got a halo cloud of bees above us because they can't get to the front
It's a
entrance.
traffic jam.
Yeah.
So this is this year's honey?
This is this year's. And this is one of the.
Ooh, what is that?
Rock.
You carried it in there?
No, I probably, it's probably not that, no. Oh, yeah.
Those are queen cells. These are queen cells that were just disrupted by splitting these boxes in half. That's a real quick way if you're going through your hives and you want to do a quick check to see if it's gonna getting ready to swarm or not. Just split the boxes and keep it up like this. There they are, swarm cells.
Yep.
And then you can go through the colony and cut them out. Maybe you can turn it around. If they're capped like this, your chances of turning this hive around and preventing it from swarming are a lot less. Sometimes you can do it, sometimes you can't. It's up to the bees, basically. But it really,
Scurried.
if you run into swarm cells like this, it's really important too, if you're going to cut them, make sure you've got eggs. You don't want to be, they may have already swarmed on you, and this may be their only resource to requeen themselves. If you're going around cutting cells, you may have just, you know, diminished their...
But two, we've already disrupted.
Well,
I
we
mean,
disrupted a lot of them.
Yeah,
But these are
but there's
capped
still more.
still. These are on their way. I mean, these here we tore the bottoms off when we split the
Yeah.
boxes. They've got a ways to go to hatch, but I mean, you can do everything in the book to keep them from swarming, and they'll still swarm.
Well, that's what we did, Pete. When Pete and I split that hive, we thought we'd done everything,
Yeah,
and
it's
it
really,
still swarmed. the
you know,
next
I've
week.
seen it where I've taken hives and cut cells on it and didn't do anything else to it. It just cut cells once, and it stopped it from swarming. And then I've seen it where you cut every single cell, give it foundation, give it supers, and it still swarms. So,
You didn't get to the brain trust. They didn't get the